Meet the most capable CR-V Honda has ever dreamed of. The all-new CR-V Trail Sport Hybrid. With all-terrain tires and available enhanced traction control, it's built for wherever the day takes you. Heated front seats and a heated steering wheel, ideal for winter drives and crisp early starts. And with generous cargo space, it's ready for big gear and even bigger getaways. The CR-V Trail Sport Hybrid. Learn more at honda.com/CRV.
Crystal clear waters, white sandy beaches. Stress doesn't exist here, but back home, an undetected water leak can turn into costly water damage. Mow and Flow detects leaks and stops your water main automatically from anywhere, even paradise.
Welcome to Speak. It's Friday, it's the 4th of July. We're having a good time here. I'm Joy Taylor, joined as always by two legends. Super Bowl champion Keyshawn Johnson and NBA Finals MVP Paul Pierce.
Super Bowl champion that cannot swim.
So. That's what we were talking about. We were talking about having a good time.
I don't even know how to float.
That's not confirmed.
You just gotta relax.
No, I'm not relaxed.
At the pool party.
Paul?
You ain't gonna relax, huh?
If the water get past my shoulders, I'm getting out.
Damn.
Key.
I'm just telling you, I'm gonna keep it a buck. I can't swim.
I know you got a pool.
Yeah, and guess what? I can walk from one end to the next. I'm good.
Crazy. So crazy. You can swim.
Yeah, I can swim.
Okay. Well, we gotta, you know what? There's always room to grow. New accomplishments so we can check off the list. We hope for that for Key for this summer. Well, we've got Key's big list of 4th of July foods coming up later in the show.
Okay.
We'll see if we all agree on that. But let's start with America's most interesting football team, the Pittsburgh Steelers. Aaron Rodgers, DK Metcalf, Jalen Ramsey, and Jonnu Smith will all be rocking the black and yellow for the first time this season. They traded away Minka Fitzpatrick to the Dolphins for Ramsey, and Smith was recently described by one anonymous NFL GM as, quote, just rearranging chairs on the Titanic. We are officially in anonymous GM scouts player time of the year. This is summer. We'll be getting lots of anonymous quotes. But it's pretty morbid way to describe what's going on in Pittsburgh. But are the Steelers on the same path as the Titanic?
No, I don't.
Metaphorically speaking.
No, the Steelers are doing everything they can this year, in my belief, to win the whole thing. That's what I believe. Because it could potentially be Mike Tomlin's last year in Pittsburgh. And they going all in to get it done. I know it hurts to hear, but it could potentially be.
Why would it be his last year?
Because you can see the setup. You see, he didn't sign no super long-term extension a year ago. Okay, he only signed like a 2-year extension.
Okay.
So when you look at that, and you look at the fact that they're moving pieces around, they got better at the quarterback position. They traded a receiver to get better at the receiver position. Then they right now, T.J. Waddle is holding out, but they haven't even gone to training camp, so it's probably not even a holdout. He just wants new money. And now you say to yourself, well, Mika's there. I mean, Mika's gone. Jalen Ramsey is in. Mm-hmm. They stacking the deck to make a run at it. That's exactly what they're doing. So this anonymous GM, I mean, obviously, if he's even a GM, he might be an ex-GM. You know what I'm saying? He just wants to say something, like you said, it's that time of season where people are anonymous at saying things. And so that's where it's at. I don't think that at all. I think they loading the thing up, though, to make a run at it for Mike Tomlin.
Yeah, I completely agree. I mean, like you said, Key, you add Rodgers, DK, and all the weapons that they have.
Jonnu Smith, they went out.
This is just a disrespect to the Pittsburgh Steelers franchise. This is a disrespect to Mike Tomlin and what he's been able to do with and without a quarterback year in and year out, having a winning record. Like, I really don't understand it, and I don't respect the anonymous whoever, the GM, the anonymous player, the unanimous. I don't respect that in any sports talk in any old way. I'm one that's a believer. Say it with your chest. Put a name behind it. I believe the Steelers are going to make the playoffs. I believe they're going to be competitive. I think they're going to have an opportunity to really make a deep run in this playoffs. Because I just don't see it. Why would you go out of your way to make the kind of moves that you make? I just don't like it. I mean, say what you want, you try to sabotage a locker room or you try to sabotage an organization. I've seen it so many times throughout the course of being in the professional sports world. When it becomes anonymous, most likely that's somebody that's very irrelevant.
Well, yeah, I don't really love anonymous quotes either. But I do feel like I said the same thing, just not as morbid. I think Minkah and Jalen are a wash. They're both great players. They've missed the same amount of times over the last 2 years. Jonnu Smith is the difference maker because he's coming off of a career year. But I don't trust Aaron Rodgers. I personally don't get it. I have been against this move from the very beginning. I think that what happened in New York was a total failure by all standards, and the expectations were Super Bowl. So when you apply the expectations from me were not Super Bowl, but from everyone else, the word Super Bowl was thrown out quite a few times, including by the Jets, including by Aaron Rodgers. So it was a colossal failure when you look at what and Keyshawn Johnson, when you look at what the expectations were. He won 5 games in 2 seasons. Yes, I understand he was injured, but he's 41 years old. He's going to be 42 mid-season. I don't understand how they're going to be significantly better than he was last year. I think they'll win a couple games off of defense, so they'll be around 8 wins, 8, 9 wins, which I don't think is enough to even make the playoffs, let alone go all the way or the AFC Championship game or win a playoff game. The back stretch of their schedule is a nightmare, which for an older quarterback, I don't know if that's how you would want the schedule to be set up. And I understand in his career that Rodgers is a better thrower of the football than Russ, but I'm just not inspired by this plan. I feel like I'm being sold a bill of goods, and that usually means that it's not a good product. And when we're talking about the Steelers, a team that I have watched my entire life, that I'm very familiar with, the standard has just been lowered in Pittsburgh, and I don't like that for them. The standard is we are competing for a Super Bowl. I understand the moves have a lot of flashy names, but does it have the substance? They're the second oldest average age of projected NFL starters in 2025. So the pieces that they got, Robert Woods is 33, Darius Slay is 34, Jalen is 30. Obviously, Aaron Rodgers being 41 probably skews that quite a bit, but I think that matters because he is the starting quarterback. So his numbers aren't that much different than Russell Wilson's last year. Yes, he is a career thrower. That's what he is known for, so I think he throws the ball better than Russell Wilson. But the totality of what they are, the totality of what the Steelers have been, I don't think skews that much of a difference. And I just don't. I don't know that I would say it's rearranging chairs on the Titanic, but I just do not have the same expectations for this team that is being sold.
You know, you got to look at it a little bit different because I understand you're looking at the last 5 games or 4 games of the New York Jets situation. Mm-hmm. That situation was over from the beginning. Even though you thought that there was hope, but you could see it was starting to unravel. They fired the coach while they were still in the playoff hunt. The season had a winning record at the point in time.
Mm-hmm. But he was upset.
Well, who was upset? Oh, Aaron Rodgers. So they get rid of him. They move on from the offensive coordinator. They go get Devontae Adams. Everything was just a mess. But he actually really started to play well, though, Joey, those last 4 or 5 games. You could see, okay, he's got some stuff here. That is why Pittsburgh made the decision to move on from Russell Wilson and move on from Justin Fields. Or better yet, Justin Fields decided to move on from them because of the way that they treated him with the Russell Wilson situation. Once he became available, he became an option for Pittsburgh. Had he still stayed with the New York Jets, I think they would have made a push to keep one of those 2 quarterbacks. He was the best option that was available. No question about it. That's why they waited. They've gone out and gotten 2 offensive weapons for him, in DK and Jonnu Smith. To do that tells me that they believe that he has the ability to help them get to where they want to go. And I think that is the truth. I honestly do, because once you get into the postseason, all it is game and game. That's it.
You know
why
why
go home.
I have any faith in what the Steelers are able to do this year? The same reason that I've had any faith in what the Steelers have been able to do since Ben retired. Mike Tomlin and the defense. Mm-hmm. Aaron Rodgers had the 17th best offensive line at the end of last season.
Okay.
The Steelers had the 27th.
Okay.
He was throwing to these are his offensive weapons last year because it was such a terrible situation. Garrett Wilson, Devontae Adams, Breece Hall, Alan Lazard, Tyler Conklin, Mike Williams, Braylon Allen.
Mike Williams
got booted.
He ran him over with the bus.
Yes, correct.
There's no question about that.
But
Garrett Wilson,
most of those
Garrett Wilson disliked him. They didn't never get on the same page.
Why weren't they on the same page?
Because they just wasn't on the same page.
Okay,
you got a young kid in Garrett Wilson who sees the cap that's out there. All of a sudden, his touches started to disintegrate once Devontae Adams became a Jet. Devontae Adams was able to, which he is the guy, rise up and still be the guy. His favorite target. That's why he came to the Jets. So when you start, Alan Lazard's the 3, 4, 5 receiver. So when you start looking at the situation.
He had Garrett Wilson and Devontae Adams.
Yeah, but he wasn't fooling with Garrett Wilson. That's why Garrett Wilson.
But I guess my question is, like, last year was so bad, right? It was so bad for the Jets. They won 5 games. That's calamity. Yeah. That's not good.
Yeah, but
he had
they
pieces,
didn't have a staff.
They had everything that they had the staff that he wanted.
Well, and they had the coordinator. The offensive coordinator he wanted. Not the staff. The staff was already there.
He chose to go there.
Yeah, because that was a good fit at the time when Zach Wilson was there.
I don't get it. To me, this only works because of Mike Tomlin and the defense. Like, nothing that Aaron is bringing to the table based off of what happened last year.
We are not asking him, Joy, to come in there and throw for 4,500 yards, 32 touchdowns, and 5 picks. They're not asking him to do that. They're asking him to manage the game at a very, very high level. That's what they're asking him to do. Put him on autopilot and don't crash the car. One of them Waymos or whatever that thing is.
Well, no one can crash those because there's no driver. Training camp is just around the corner for teams, and FoxSports.com put out a top 10 NFL quarterbacks list this week. Josh Allen took the top spot, followed by Patrick Mahomes at number 2. Allen did win the MVP last season, but he lost to Mahomes in the playoffs last year and is also 0-4 against Mahomes all-time in the playoffs. Paul, you're in the Bills camp.
Yeah.
Right? You're higher on the Bills Mafia. Do you agree that Allen should be ranked ahead of Mahomes?
Yeah, I think he should be ranked ahead of Mahomes because this is based off what have you done for me lately. And I know Mahomes got him to a Super Bowl, but we know that this Kansas City Chiefs team was built around their defense, and their defense doesn't get the credit for carrying them not only through the regular season, but to the Super Bowl. Because when you look at statistically, Mahomes wasn't that great. You know, look, he had 26 passing TDs. I've said this before, tied a career low. While Allen is coming off an MVP season, we all know that the defense pretty much carried this Kansas City team all year long. So, but I am disappointed. But I will tell you this. I wouldn't even have Mahomes number 2. I'm putting Lamar right there. I'm putting Allen, Lamar. This is based off last year. We're not talking about record of your team, but how you played. How did you look? I would have Lamar number 2, and then...
Would you move Jalen Hurts up?
Man, I probably got to... Man, then it get murky right here.
I think I got to put Jalen ahead of Joe Burrow. If we're doing last year, we got to rearrange this whole thing.
Yeah.
But this list is for heading into 2025.
Then I got to put Jalen Hurts at 3, Patrick Mahomes at 4, Joe Burrow at 5. That's my list right there.
That's not a bad list to have. I'd like to have those quarterbacks in my day.
Do you agree that Allen should be ahead of Mahomes?
He won the MVP.
Yeah.
So he wins the MVP going into this year in 2025. He should be 1. As far as that goes. Now, 2 for me would be Jalen Hurts. 3 would be Lamar. 4 would be Patrick Mahomes. And then after that, I don't care what y'all do.
So, Jalen Hurts, 2?
Yeah, he just won the Super Bowl and the Super Bowl MVP.
Yeah.
Did everything
Yeah.
that you
Oh, here he goes.
and you
slander
and that damn Michael Irvin, who's not right here, tried to say that Jalen Hurts was a bum.
That is not true. That is not true.
Y'all didn't use the word bum,
I
but
have been defending Jalen Hurts for years.
Let me see the receipts.
No,
for years.
No receipts.
Y'all didn't say bum.
Of course we didn't say bum. He's never been a bum.
But I said bum for y'all to make it sound like y'all said bum.
You're not doing this.
We just didn't have him in the top 5
You're not going to lie to America.
Which is ridiculous.
You're not going to lie to America.
Lie to America on the 4th of July?
Yeah, I mean, let somebody else do that. They're really good at that.
But in all honesty, when you look at it, Josh Allen, he did more with less skill position players than any of those guys, in my opinion.
Yeah.
He
had an unbelievable season.
Had an unbelievable season. But Jalen Hurts went to the Super Bowl. He did things that people thought that he wasn't going to be able to do. And he won the MVP. They won the Super Bowl, although Saquon Barkley helped carry that team. But when it counted the most in the air, he was able to deliver. Mm-hmm. And so he's number 2 to me. But after that, those 4 guys, you can start messing around with Joe Burrows and Jared Goffs and all the other names if you choose to do so. Yeah,
I mean, this isn't a career list. Obviously, Patrick Mahomes is going to be at the top of any, career rankings in the NFL right now. That goes without question. But I do think it's fine that Josh Allen's ahead of him. He had an amazing season, and he's been playing amazing for years. So people are just going to react to it because it's Patrick Mahomes, and no one's saying he's a better overall quarterback, but he just won the MVP, and I think that's why he's there. But Dak Prescott is last on the list at 10th. So he is Dak being disrespected here.
Hey, I think he is. I think he's certainly higher than the 10th best quarterback in the National Football League. Although he has not taken his team past the second round of the playoffs. I understand that. I get that. But in the end, would I take him over some of the guys that's in front of him? Yes, I'll take him over Baker Mayfield. I may even take him in the situation over Jared Goff. Certain situations lends itself to your success. And he's had a lot of regular season success. He's just failed in the postseason. Jaden Daniels higher than him at 9 as a rookie. To me, that is a little bit of disrespect because I'm the biggest Jaden fan in the world. I saw him before anybody saw him as a quarterback. He's only done it 1 season.
And he's done it 1 more season than Dak.
I understand. But we got to see a little bit more from my guy to be able to say he's ahead of Dak Prescott. We just have to.
Who are you taking?
Right now?
Yeah.
I'm going to take Jaden Daniels. I'm just going to keep it a buck. Yeah, probably go. But I'm a little biased. I'm trying to be fair.
The eyes don't lie.
But as much as I love Justin Herbert, he got everything. He got the whole pocket presence, awareness. He looks like a quarterback. I'm taking Dak Prescott over Justin Herbert.
Yeah, I
understand Baker Mayfield. I understand he has moxie and he gets fired up. I'm taking Dak Prescott over Baker Mayfield. I just am. I mean, I understand Baker Mayfield has a resurgence in his career. Yeah. He's led the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to the postseason for consecutive years. I get all of that. But I'm taking Dak Prescott. Jared Goff, perfect situation. Ben Johnson was there. Tons of talent all the way around him on the offensive side. They had a certain way to play. I'm still taking Dak Prescott over Jared Goff. I just am.
What do you got?
Man, that's tough. I think he does. I think he's right where he's at, but he does have a point. I think you could put these guys all in the same boat. Baker, Herbert, and Dak. I'm moving Jaden Daniels all the way up. I got him number 6. Oh, for 1 year. That's all I needed to see. Because he's taking his team farther than a lot of these quarterbacks.
No, that's true.
That I'm looking at.
I understand.
At least those 3. And so I think they're all in the same boat, Baker, Justin, and Dak. I don't think there's disrespect on any given day. They can look like the best quarterback in the NFL, and another day they can look like what happened, like I saw from Justin Herbert in the playoffs. He had a sensational year, then gets to the playoffs. He had 3 interceptions in a
3 or 4.
He had 3 or 4. He had more in one playoff game than he had all season.
Yeah.
After, doing what he did. And Baker, it'd be some nights where, you see him go off for like 400 yards, look great, making Tampa look like a contender, then another night, not so much. So.
Yeah, I got a bunch of,
moving it around a little bit
to do. So I'm going to go Josh, Jalen, Pat, Lamar, Joe for the top 5. Mm-hmm. And then I have Dak at 6.
Yeah, that's what I said. You can, yeah.
Now, I love Jared Goff, so if you want to swap Jared and Dak, that's fine with me. But he should be higher on this list.
But the thing about it is so crazy in one's career, because I look at him playing in Dallas and following Tony Romo, for instance, that had a hell of a career in Dallas, didn't win a championship. But they following Troy Aikman and Troy's following Roger Staubach and all of those sort of things. And when you look at the hate that this man continuously gets about his career.
Well, yeah, it's because he plays for the Cowboys.
It's crazy to me, though. How could you?
We would never talk about Dak the way that we do if he played for another team.
I know, but it's
true.
And Baker is a perfect example of that.
People.
And Baker has taken his lumps in this league for sure, but it still is not compared to. And the way that we talk about him now that he's in Tampa.
The way people think about one's professional careers are crazy to me. Mm-hmm. It's just crazy. I had a whole conversation last night about Paul. The whole guy said to Paul, look at these people stupid. Right. About him saying what he said on the show yesterday. Just what are you talking about? Like you what are you listening to? What are you seeing to make you think that he's the 10th best quarterback in the league?
He's held to a completely different standard. And I understand his postseason success hasn't helped that conversation. And someone of his paycheck and praise should have more postseason success. And the way that they've lost in the postseason hasn't helped it either. But if we're talking about the postseason, he's won games in the postseason. You know who's been to the postseason twice and hasn't won? Justin Herbert. So
he looks right, though.
Yeah, but this isn't a beauty pageant.
Oh, strong. That's what
I get it, but it's not a
really
not
has
a beauty
a rocket
pageant.
of an arm.
He has his amazing regular seasons. Dak's had amazing regular seasons, and he gets to the postseason and he doesn't win. So far, that's been the reality for him. Baker Mayfield,
but it ain't like he out there trying not to win.
I don't think he's trying to lose.
No, but that's the way it makes me mad when people say stupid things.
But I'm talking about Justin Herbert. Dak has won in the postseason. Dak has had great regular seasons and won in the postseason. Dak was second in MVP voting.
Yeah, 2 years ago.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Baker's never been second in MVP voting.
No.
To my knowledge, Justin Herbert's never been second in MVP voting.
Your knowledge is correct.
Okay. Jared Goff has been to a Super Bowl,
yes.
So I'm going to give him that nod. And I understand Sean McVay is an incredible coach, but he was on the field executing that. And I think now that we've seen him with another team, we know he does actually have the talent. So to me, Dak just has to be higher. I think he should be above Justin Herbert and above Baker Mayfield. Jane Daniels obviously had an unbelievable season and has a huge upside in talent, but he has only done it for 1 year. I think he should be at 6. I think that Dak is held to. And listen, I am incredibly critical of the Cowboys, mostly because I think that the expectations are absurd, not because I don't think that they don't have talent. Dak has had amazing regular season success. They've won the division. They've had home field advantage. Like the game that they lost to the Packers, which, by the way, I think Jordan Love should be like sniffing around 10. I have Brock in the top 10. Dak, Jared, Jaden, Brock, Purdy, Baker Mayfield, and then at and around from 8 to 15, you can probably swap out based on preference.
Yeah, I don't mind the names that's here. I'm taking Baker out. I'm taking Justin Herbert out. Mm-hmm. Then I'm adding Brock Purdy. I'm adding Brock Purdy, and I'm adding Jordan Love.
No Stafford?
Well, I can't. I mean,
I think Stafford should be around there too. That's what I'm saying. Anywhere from like
Stafford?
10 to 15.
Wait, okay, so I took Baker out.
Swapping.
I said I'm taking Baker out and Herbert, and I'm going to add Love and Purdy.
No Stafford.
So I'm gonna add Purdy and Stafford and leave Love out.
And then Jordan Love at 11.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
No, Jordan Love at 10. No Jordan Love at all.
yeah,
Period.
Jordan Love at 11.
Oh, well, yes, no 11. We're talking about 10.
I know, that's what I'm saying, but that's that group
Yeah.
of like Justin Herbert, C.J.
I just
Stroud,
forget about Stafford 'cause
Jordan
he's
Love.
1,000 years old. No, seriously, I forget about how good he is.
There are
we
actually,
don't ever really talk
when we're
about
talking
him.
about the top 15 quarterbacks in the league, there's a lot of talent.
Like if we really wanted to dive into it though, Matthew Stafford gonna be in the top 6.
Probably.
If you really break it down, but I forget about him because I always he's older and I don't think of him.
Well,
just
we forget
don't.
about the Rams every year.
No, it's not even the Rams, it's just him.
No, we do.
For
Every year.
Yeah.
I've been standing on my corner. Darnell can tell you. I've had my Rams flag planted. Like they're
And I'm
still
not a
there,
Rams
guys.
fan, no, so.
I mean, I'm not a Rams fan either, but I just respect what Sean McVay does, and I think Matthew Stafford is a very high level
And
quarterback.
I think when I talk about the Rams all the time, I'm always talking about Sean McVay. And I just keep forgetting that Matthew Stafford is the quarterback.
Yeah, and he's pretty good at it. Coming up, it's the 4th of July, so we'll give you our top 4 American athletes of all time. Stay tuned for our Sports Mount Rushmore next on Speak. And don't forget, you can check us out every day on the Fox Sports channel on SiriusXM.
No, I'm not up there.
At Strayer University, we help students like you go from, is it possible, to anything is possible by offering access to up to 10 no-cost gen ed courses, so you can reach your goals affordably and fast. Visit strayer.edu to learn more. No-cost gen eds provided by Strayer University affiliate Sophia. Eligibility rules apply. Connect with us for details. Strayer University is certified to operate in Virginia by Chev and has many campuses, including at 2121 15th Street North in Arlington, Virginia.
It's the 4th of July. We're on early, so let's have some fun and name our top 4 American athletes of all time. These are set in stone. See what I did there? Key, who's on your Sports Mount Rushmore?
So Michael Jordan, Jumpman, 6-time champion, obviously finals MVP, 5-time regular season MVP, 14-time All-Star, 3-time MVP, Defensive Player of the Year, 88, 9, all defensive first teams, 10 scoring champs, blah, 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 dunk championship, the logo, everything. Serena Williams, 23 Grand Slam wins, most of all time, most Grand Slam single matches ever won, 4-time gold medal winner, 3 doubles, 1 single. Tiger Woods, 15 major wins, second most. We already know the rest of the story. Jackie Robinson broke the MLB color barrier and won Rookie of the Year, NL MVP in 1949, 6-time All-Star, only 10 years in the majors, 2-time NL stolen base leader, number 42, retired across the board in Major League Baseball. So there's my 4. Top it.
Very solid.
Man, that's solid.
And I didn't even run all the statistics, down.
I mean, we know who these people are.
Yeah, and no need to do all
They
that.
didn't need to do all that.
Yeah. Just give you a little
thought, Paul?
something.
All right, well, I think we got a lot of the same, Key, but
Don't go to switching.
no, I'm not going to switch. For me, I have first Serena Williams. We all know her resume, one of the greatest women's tennis player ever. Michael Jordan, the GOAT. My third one, I have Simone Biles, though. I think she's the greatest gymnast in Olympic history. So I had to throw her in there. And then Floyd Mayweather, Money May, TBE, the best ever. Never lost a fight. It was a toss-up between him and Muhammad Ali. I didn't really get a chance to watch Muhammad Ali. I watched Floyd throughout his career, so I'm going to give him the nod on that.
Solid. I went a little more activist with mine, although we all have Serena. So I think Serena is agreed upon. Key and I both have Jackie. I have Jesse Owens.
Ooh, okay.
And I have Muhammad Ali.
That's solid. So all GOATs.
All GOATs, of course. Well, all of us all have GOATs.
Yeah.
But the real Mount Rushmore would need to be bigger. Trump's trying to expand it, so I guess eventually we'll have 5. So
what you need to do for me, Bo
we
Joy,
can chisel another
but
face
you notice
in there.
the only
Will
comment
they spray paint it orange?
is Serena. Huh?
Yeah, we definitely need Serena up there. Like, we all have
She's the
Serena.
only one. She's the only one we all have.
no, didn't you have Jordan too?
You see Jordan?
Yeah, but I don't have Jordan.
No, I'm talking about all of them.
Yeah.
But what I want you to do though, for me, I want you to text me later on, because you see all of that stuff, and tell me what the people are saying about us not having some people on there that they. That's what I really want you. I really want you to tell me. Because we gonna get some
It's the Mount
strays.
Rushmore of American athletes.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Somebody's gonna say, where's Michael Phelps?
It's always
But
something.
he's behind us, is where he
Yeah, see?
This,
Right
see,
there.
this is what he's the bonus.
Where's LeBron
when Trump
James?
puts
Y'all
the fifth one in,
crazy.
we'll add Michael up there.
That's what they're gonna say.
Tom Brady.
Where's Muhammad Ali? Tom Brady? I just want you to tell me, because I love when you tell me the feedback on
the
the
feedback
negativity.
online?
Yeah.
You know the feedback is going to be online.
I can't wait. I can't wait. Oh, I can't wait.
Hey, you just gotta have tough skin.
Listen,
But I love my list. I actually
love my
I
list.
like y'all list too.
I think my list is incredibly important.
Because
incredibly important.
and you went the activist route more. I kept trying to come up with the word to describe why I chose these four.
Like, what's the connecting fiber between the four of them?
Yeah, I think it's not revolutionized. It's they did something like Michael Jordan. Everybody want to be Michael Jordan to this day.
Yeah.
Everybody's still chasing Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
They want to be Michael, right? Serena Williams opened the door for African-American women to a whole nother level
Yeah.
in tennis, to the point we're seeing Coco Gauff now in tennis, right? These Tiger Woods, ain't nobody watching no damn golf. That's no brother until Tiger Woods comes on. Now every brother in the world think they can play golf.
Right.
Regardless to what Tiger description of his race is, he a brother, regardless.
Right.
He could be Malaysian or whatever he said is all day long. Then you look at Jackie Robinson.
Okay, so technically you included some diversity. Keith.
Oh, God, stop. And then Jackie Robinson, the color barrier, it just opened up all the doors in terms of Major League Baseball. So but I can't figure out the word.
I think, obviously, if you don't know who Jesse Owens is, he won 4 gold medals at the 1936 Berlin Olympics. Very, very influential moment in history. So maybe history is what connects all 4 of mine, because you described what Serena obviously did for the sport of tennis, for women athletes in general.
Yeah,
She's considered to be one of the greatest tennis players of all time, regardless of gender.
Mm-hmm.
And Jesse Owens, Jackie Robinson, and Muhammad Ali all stand tall in the history book. So I think that was my connecting fiber through all of them. You just have solid goats.
Yeah, I just got, go. Go.
We probably leaving a
We
good.
moving a lot off.
We're leaving a lot of goats off.
Just
a lot
that
of
numbers
golf.
probably.
This is my Rushmore.
No, it's all good. Ain't nothing wrong with it.
You can't
Can't get mad at you.
get mad.
They're going to find a way.
Check with Joy. She'll let you know later
I'll
on.
tell you right now, they're already mad.
They're mad at me all the time.
Let's check in with another
Mad at you all
goat
the time.
on our social life. If you know anything about me, you know that I have a phobia of hot dogs. Again, despite what you see in my Instagram comments, I actually hate them. Joey Chestnut returned to the Nathan's hot dog eating contest. Oh, I can't watch this. Oh, it's like everywhere I look. Oh, anyway, he finished with 70 and a half glizzies eaten. 24 more than second place.
How many minutes?
10 minutes.
10 minutes? Oh, my God. What do you do?
He ate 70 hot dogs in 10 minutes.
How do you?
70
he
dogs.
gotta let that out somehow.
So, what you mean? He go let it out.
I mean, right away.
Oh my God.
With the bread too, though. You gotta eat the bread too.
It's so.
But I don't understand what's the point of doing this.
Competition, Key.
That's not no
Look at his
competition.
face.
Winning and losing.
His stomach is built for this. He's been doing it too
Yeah,
long.
he's been training for a long time.
No, but that doesn't.
They eat lettuce. I told you that's like a thing.
That's crazy.
I don't know how much money it would take for me to eat a hot dog.
People really buy a
eat
ticket to
one
go
hot dog?
watch
To eat one hot dog.
Oh, yeah, it's not gonna take much to eat a hot dog.
Me?
Yeah, it's not gonna take much. Not gonna take much.
I haven't had a hot dog since I was like 6 years old.
Yeah, but they don't have to give you $1 million to eat it. You know, 5 G's will do it.
I'm not eating a hot dog for $5,000.
You're not gonna eat a hot dog for 5 G's?
No, I'm not doing
You
it.
need more than 5 G's to eat a hot dog.
Much more, yes.
Damn, that's
Yeah,
only
damn,
gonna
you
take like
expensive.
2 minutes.
God.
5,000.
I can't even watch people eat hot dogs.
Throw some ketchup
Blindfold and
mustard
put
on
some ketchup, maybe some onions or something. Put a blindfold on. Boom,
It's
done.
meat poop.
It's a wrap. 5 racks. You can go to Vegas. You can
You
go to
have to char them for it to be edible.
Okay, so char it.
Nah, I don't want a charred piece of meat poop. That sounds crazy.
But you'll eat chicken sausage.
I don't really like chicken sausage either. But,
Okay, so
But I will eat a chicken sausage. That is an artisan crafted log, okay? A hot dog is a machine pressed, like.
I don't know. You got the on the
thing.
back end, the things, the
Like
little,
does this.
the little
Like you
slits. So you eating a corn dog?
No, that's just a hot dog.
Okay, would you
Cornmeal.
eat a veggie dog?
Why would anyone eat a veggie dog?
Tyler? I mean, that's just.
You know he was looping that around the inside. You are not escaping that. Anyway, enough hot dog talk. I've had enough. I'm gonna be sick. Coming up, it's America's Day to talk about America's team. We'll check the vibes with the Cowboys and the rest of the NFC East. That's next on Speak.
Get your mother-loving ears on because your big-time radio DJ's got news. PayPal lets you choose how you want to pay for all the stuff. With PayPal, I can pay in-store, pay online, or pay over time. What's that? You want this translated into song? I hope you're sitting down. You can pay your own way. You keep those ears on, you hear? Don't just pay, baby. PayPal.
Learn more at paypal.com.
Welcome to Club Speak, where the vibes are always family, football, and some fireworks. We're going to check in on the vibes with America's team, the defending champs, and the rest of the star-studded NFC East. Why are we playing basketball right now? All right. Beginning in Dallas, Texas, the Cowboys have a distant third best odds to win the division. Dak and Coach Shoddy are cooking up, but Micah Parsons remains unsigned. So, Paul, what are the vibes in Dallas?
Like you said, hey, the vibes are why not us? Listen, you got a healthy Dak coming into this season. New coach. You added Pickens. Everybody's optimistic at this time of the year. Dallas feel like, hey, why not us? Why can't we win the division? And I know the odds are against them, but hey, optimism does set in when you're early in the season or right before training camp. I think they got to believe.
The vibes are, this time of year, the weather sucks in Dallas, Texas.
Ooh, it's hot.
Hot.
Mosquitoes.
Mosquitoes, humid. Can't wait to get to California for training camp. That's the vibes. They got to get out of that and get to that nice 65, 70-degree weather out in Oxnard. That may be part of their problem.
I was about to say,
Come.
maybe they should keep training camp
Maybe
in
they
Dallas.
should keep it in Dallas.
Because it seems like being out here in the Cali sun is not putting them in the right...
Very country clubbish.
Yeah.
You know?
Yes, it's a little too comfortable. The vibes are new coach, new chapter. I am skeptical about how all of this is going to go, but Dak is healthy. They're going to get Micah back in the building, or in the building. They're going to get him signed. They have George Pickens. So a couple little things to work with. I don't know if they've solved their problems that they've had the past couple years. We will find out, but the new era is here, Coach Shoddy's era. Let's head to Philly. The Eagles had a block party on Broad Street in February and have stayed busy this offseason. Jalen Hurts and company have the best odds to win the division and the conference and repeat as champs. So, Key, what are the vibes in Philly?
Vibes in Philly is stay the course. Stay straight with it. Don't forget about nothing. Stay right where you are because they coming to get you.
Paul?
The vibes is, listen, we had an amazing offseason. I'm sure everybody took their trips, family, friends, party, whatever you do to celebrate. It's time for no championship hangover. It's time to lock in, get ready for the season.
Yeah, lock in, Paul.
Because we chasing history.
Lock in. Man, you got to lock in.
Lock in. Gotta lock in.
Vibes are going for a repeat. They're the champs. They had an unbelievable Super Bowl, a great offseason, and now the target is on them to go back and win it again, and they are in prime position to do that. Let's head over to Washington, D.C. Jaden Daniels turned things around for the Commanders with a Rookie of the Year campaign and a run to the NFC Championship game. And Deebo Samuels is now in the mix for Jaden in year 2. So, Paul, what are the vibes in Washington?
The vibes in Washington, you remember when we was kids and the Jehovah's Witnesses are coming?
Oh, man, leave them people alone, man.
No, I'm just saying, they be knocking at the door.
Don't you answer that door, Paul.
Hey,
Don't answer the door.
That's what the Washington is doing. They knocking at the door. A team that went to the NFC Championship game versus Philly. Hey, it's time to get back to that and surpass that.
Man, knock on the door. My mother used to get so mad when you go to open that
Don't
door.
say nothing.
Crazy. It's crazy to open a door.
Close the curtains.
That's the world,
They are
man.
relentless.
Don't lose focus is the vibes, though. Don't lose focus. As Paul would say, lock in. Because you can't get complacent on the respect that you got last year and think that you're going to get the same respect again this year. Not going to happen, so stay focused.
The vibes are big expectations. You both said it. They had a season that was way, way ahead of schedule. But they've kept their coaching staff in place. They've added some nice pieces. And now the expectations are going to come in a real way in year 2. Because they came out of nowhere in year 1. But now we know what you're cooking with over there. So, you show up to the barbecue and you already set the tone. Better not be serving me no hot dogs.
We'll get you some hot links.
Variety. Finally, let's head to the Big Apple. Russell Wilson is excited to play with Malik Neighbors, and the Giants have the second lowest odds to win their division league-wide, trailed only by the Cleveland Browns. What are the vibes with the Giants, Key?
Proving we different. We're not the same team from a year ago. We got a different quarterback. We got new pieces all the way around. Prove we are different.
Ooh, okay. The vibes in New York for the Giants are, let's finish ahead of the Cowboys at all costs. At all costs. We don't want to be the bottom dwellers. Finish ahead of the Cowboys at all costs. That's the vibes in New York.
I don't get that. I think I'm on an island here, obviously, but I think the Giants are a little bit of a sleeper. I don't think they're going to be anywhere near as bad as they were last year.
Okay, so they'll win 7 games.
Okay, well, they were awful last year, so yeah. I do think that they're going to be significantly better. I don't know. I'm kind of with Paul. I think the Cowboys and Giants are going to be battling it out for third in that division, and I think the Giants have a real opportunity to do that. Coming up, Damian Lillard is a free agent, but how much does he have left in the tank? That's next.
Don't you open that door.
Now at Chipotle, our all-new Chipotle Honey Chicken brings Chipotle heat with a touch of sweet. Seared smoked peppers and savory Mexican spices, blended with a hint of pure honey for a perfectly balanced sauce. All combined with fresh, tender chicken hot off the grill, served up in your favorite burrito or bowl. New Chipotle Honey Chicken takes heat and sweet to a whole new level. But it's only at Chipotle for a limited time. Order now in the app for pickup or delivery. Chipotle, for real.
Time to check in on our social life. Paul Pierce, trending again. What'd you do this time, Paul?
I'm just speaking facts.
After yesterday, he claimed on the show that he was probably the best pure scorer in NBA history. We were talking about Kevin Durant and LeBron James describing him as the most equipped scorer in NBA history. KD commented on the Speak post with that clip saying, quote, I didn't really see a weakness in Paul's game. I understand where his confidence comes from. Paul?
I'm just saying. No, this is what I said. I told this to Darnell. I said, look, you could take all the great scores in NBA history. I can do everything they can do. Scoring-wise. At least one thing I'll be better than them at. Like, say, like, who's considered, like, Jordan, right? Jordan probably considered that I'm a better three-point shooter than Jordan. We talk about KD, a lot of time KD is mentioned. And KD, he got a lot. Man, he's tough. But I think if there's one thing I got better than KD is I probably was a better post-up player.
Back to the rim.
Back to the rim.
Well, when we talk about KD and the thing that the main thing that LeBron was saying is a separator is his efficiency.
Yeah, the efficiency is it. I'm really referring to the type of ways I can score.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I can score it any way possible. Post, pick and roll, mid-range three, off the down screen, off the flare, back, like, I can score in every single way imaginable in basketball.
Well, this is a NBA Finals MVP,
that's not
NBA
really,
champ, and top 75 players.
That's not the text messages I was getting yesterday.
Confess, so.
They was coming up with some craziness. I was like,
the thing is, I've never been a scoring champ. I'm really talking about the different ways I can score.
yeah, of course.
Like, and when you hear them say I had no weaknesses in offense.
None, zero.
Like, that's what I'm saying. I can score in every way
From every
imaginable.
spot on the court.
Like, if you wanted
he
the
can score.
fadeaway post like Kobe and Jordan, I had that in my game. If you want the Durant, Hezzy pull, T-Mac, I had all of that. The three-point shot off the dribble, not off the spot up, I had all
Talk
of
that
that.
talk, man. Let 'em know.
Mid-range, step back from 3, step back from 2, spot, like all of
I
it.
got to yes,
Come on,
That's
man.
what I'm
Go on, man,
saying.
right here. Man, go on and give it to him. Man, pop that thing.
I said I got a big bag.
Man, that thing, I can't lift this desk. My bag is this. Man, I can't lift this desk. Size of this desk.
Ooh, I love when you talk that talk. Let them know.
That's what you get for making us work on a holiday. Damian Lillard is
Heller.
also a guy who can get a bucket. Lillard is recovering from an Achilles injury, and he was released by the Bucks earlier this week. Dame posted after his status after the release, channeling some of his skills as a lyricist. He said, they call it a gamble at this stage. Tell them this the jackpot. Hashtag to be continued.
Man,
So, Paul, will a team be hitting the jackpot with Dame?
man, that's tough when you come off an Achilles injury and you kind of like, you a guard. You know, I've seen guys come back from Achilles injuries a la Durant. And we're going to see what happens with, Tatum. We've seen Kobe come back. But these guys are like 6'6", 6'7" guys, wingmen. When you get it from a little guy, who isn't as explosive as these guys as these guys are, it's going to be a little more difficult because the guard position requires a little more speed. It requires a little more when you get to the basket. Whereas you're not 6'6", 6'7", 6'10", 6'11". I truly believe that Dame may be coming back to a backup situation. The way the league is going with these guards are a lot faster, and it's a young man's game. I understand he's going to be a step slow. As you get older, the lift isn't there anymore. It's going to be tougher for him to finish at the rim. He's going to probably be more of a shooter at this stage in his career. But I would love to see him on the Celtics as a backup point guard. Give us some depth, and occasions can start, I feel. But, man, Dame is so great. It's just hard to see him go down this way. But I have to see how he responds to this Achilles injury. But if he comes back, I think, he'll have a couple more years. But at the tender age of 34, be 35, it's going to be tough.
No, it's all about the injury. And I'm betting that he comes back fully healthy, even though his age is a little long in the tooth. I feel like he could still do some of the same things that he's done before if he's healthy. And when you start talking like that, you start thinking about teams that he could possibly play for, what makes the most sense. For me, L.A. You already know what I'm going to say.
What a shocking turn of events.
No, but check this out,
You
though.
want him for the Celtics, and you want him for the Lakers. Who could have predicted?
I'm not just
Guess
saying
what?
that.
Guess what team I would like Dame to go to?
Miami.
The Miami Heat.
No, but look, Joy, check this out, though.
Totally unbiased.
You just
opinions on this
but here's why I say the West Coast and the Lakers. And Minnesota needs somebody to help Ant-Man out.
No. Stick with the
The
Lakers.
Celtics, hold on. The Celtics, that's a possibility. But here's why I say the West Coast. From the Bay Area, 45-minute flight. Family's still up in Portland right now. Okay? We need somebody else to run the point guard position for us in the future, because LeBron will eventually be gone in terms of that. So that opens up those sort of avenues for us. Plus, you led off saying he drops what, bars? Why wouldn't you want to be in L.A.? Think about it. Wow, and he has a future in the rap game?
Yes, of course he does.
Why wouldn't you want to be in L.A.?
He drops what, bars?
I sound like a cornball. Is that right? Is that what I sound like? I'm a long way from corny, so the internet just know that.
You're not corny.
Yeah, you're a long way from it. But no, seriously though, if we were to get him out here, it makes all the sense in the world. And I understand what Paul is saying. 35 years old, July, he turns 35, July 15th, so gonna be a little older. But players play longer now than they did, it feels like, age-wise, than they did in the past. You start looking at these dudes are old, man.
I still think he can contribute to a championship team and has
Paul
want to
put him on the bench.
It's obvious. Well, Paul's concerns. The Achilles injury is a very hard injury to come back from. Like it's not a small injury, but he's going to have a significant amount of time to recover from it before he's back in action in any capacity. So obviously he's basically essentially has a year off.
So he'll be 35.
He'll be 36.
Then come back at 36.
He'll be basically 36.
See, so Kobe, he tore his at 34 also and played 2 more seasons.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that he is going to play for another 5 or 6 seasons, but I do think when he's back, his experience, his ability to shoot the ball, and what he brings on the floor, I think is still extremely valuable to a team that has a strong lineup in depth. Other than our 3 favorite teams, where's another great place
but all those teams
for him
are
to
interested.
end up? They are. Obviously, the Heat were interested before he went to the Bucks, and that's where he wanted to go.
I'm betting he's going to be a Laker. That's my bet.
So you think he'll be a Laker? If he doesn't end up with the Lakers, who's another team that could use him?
Minnesota can use him.
I think he could be a great backup on a championship caliber team. That's why I said backup.
No, I understand, but it's also his injury. You're more talking about his injury.
His injury. Yeah, because of his injury. And, at his age, at this stage, before the injury, it was tough on him on a defensive end in Milwaukee.
Yeah, I understand.
Against these young guards. So now I feel like his best role, if you want to maximize the next 3 or 4 years, if he wants to play.
But he ain't thinking that way. And he ain't talking that way. It sounds like to me he feels good about his rehabilitation coming forward.
Well, you're not really going to know nothing about yourself until you get back on the court to see how your body responds. This, when you go through injuries, you want to stay optimistic and you want to believe that you can get back to where you were. And that's fine, but I think the realization is on a championship team, he'll be a great backup.
Let's talk about 2 of those teams interested in Dame Lillard. The Lakers currently have the 7th best odds to win a title, with the Warriors right behind them with the 8th best odds to win it all. Steph Curry and company made it around further than the Lakers, but met the same fate after Steph got injured, losing to the Timberwolves in a gentleman's sweep.
Watch out.
So, Paul, who is more likely to win another title, LeBron or Steph?
I'm going to have to go with Steph on this because I feel like Steph has more years left in the tank than LeBron because there's a lot of speculation. This could be LeBron's last year based on, him signing that 1 year. So I have to just play the odds. If Steph, I see, can play, just not too long ago, we heard, I don't know if his dad or somebody said he can play well into Steve Kerr or somebody said he can play well into his 40s.
Yeah, it was his dad.
It was his dad. I believe it. And so in saying that says that looks like another 5 years. So I'll give it to Steph, knowing that he has a bigger window of opportunity.
I feel like LeBron is positioned right now, like this year, based on the Ayton acquisition, once he signs. Then obviously a slim down Luka. I had to throw that in there because Paul don't care about the slim down. He had 38
He's still going to give you the same number. We're going to average 40 down.
Then you obviously, LeBron he wants to try to go out as a champion if this is his last year playing basketball, and I'm sure that some other moves will come. Now, the Warriors are interesting. You got them at 8th, where the Lakers are 7th, plus 1,400 for the Lakers, plus 1,800 for the Warriors. So even the odds makers think that the Lakers have a better shot at doing it. I just feel like same thing with Jimmy Butler, same thing with Luka. You get them both for a full season opposed to, midway. Now they get to start with you in October.
Yeah.
They get to go through training camp with you. So I feel like that's an advantage for the Lakers more so than it is for Golden State.
Yeah, Steph having more shots at it would, essentially kind of by default make you say that he has a better chance. But I'll just limit it to this year since we are assuming this year might be LeBron's last year and Steph is going to play for more time after LeBron retires. But I think that the Lakers have a better chance this year.
But even if you extend it out beyond this year, the Lakers are younger in the situation where...
Yeah, but it's not Lakers or Warriors. It's LeBron or Steph.
Yeah, I understand that. But I would think if it goes a certain way...
LeBron might come back?
You just never know. You know what I'm saying? You just never know.
Well, coming up, the Truth Lounge is open for the holiday. We'll see who's got a spot in the VIP after the NBA draft. That's next on Speak. Drinking mi gente.
Marketers, you know that feeling when your content just works? When you crush a viral trend before 10 a.m.? When one tiny tweak to a landing page sends click-through rates through the roof? That's Contentful. Dynamic content made blissfully simple. Contentful helps you create and launch personalized experiences instantly across any digital channel. No stress, no limits, only possibilities. Come get the feels at Contentful.com.
Welcome to the Truth Lounge. Thank you, Darnell. Thank you, Dino. Now that free agency has settled down, Paul's been getting his guest list ready for next season. So, Paul, there's a line forming outside.
Yeah,
Who do you have in the Truth Lounge?
Yeah, there's definitely a line. I've been getting hit up on my line, all my lines. I've been getting DMs everywhere. I'm just like, yo, chill. I got you, maybe. But right now on the waiting list, these are the teams I got on the waiting list. The Lakers, Spurs, Bucks, and Magic. See, I'm still waiting to see what the Lakers gonna do, how they gonna improve. Yeah, they got DeAndre Ayton, but they still on the outside looking in for me. They didn't do enough. You know, Bron is in Cleveland right now playing golf, hanging out at the practice facility. I don't know what's going on with the Lakers. So, you know, they're on the waiting list. The Spurs, they at the door too. They knocking. You got young Wemby. He's emerging, getting better and better. They got the rookie of the year in Castle. They're right there, but just they're not an automatic in for me yet. Now the Bucks. What's going on with the Bucks? They just paid off Dame Lillard all this money. They brought in Miles Turner. I don't think that was enough. I'm not even sure if Giannis is happy right now. He seems like a little disgruntled. They didn't get better. It was a lateral move because they lost Brook Lopez. So they're on a wait-and-see move also. Now the Magic. I really like the Magic. I can see them getting in. You know, they've been on the waiting list for over a year now. It might be time for me to let them in, but we'll see. But I like what the Magic have done in signing Desmond Baines. Really improved their shooting. So I like that. I like that move. Now, let's talk about who in the club. General admission. Timberwolves, they in. Conference finals a year ago. They over here, Ant and them, they DMing me trying to get in the VIP. They could get in, but y'all in. They good. They in, they at the bar. Hey, send them, put that on my tab. They good. The Clippers, they in. James Harden had a solid year. Kawhi back. Hopefully they'll be healthy. Come on in. Warriors.
You're not buying them drinks, though?
No, they good.
Crazy,
they
though.
Good. They
he got the Warriors hanging out, but the Lakers trying to get in. They like 10th in line.
Hey, listen, Jimmy Butler and Steph, they proved to be a pretty deadly twosome. Combination. Hey, more so than LeBron and Luka.
Oh,
Bring the Warriors on in here. And last but not least, general admission, we're going to throw the Knicks in there. I like the Knicks because the East is wide open. I mean, wide open.
The Knicks is in general admission.
Yeah, they in. The Knicks is in.
So I'm assuming the Celtics is automatically in. They got a seat then.
Man, Celtics, I got to hit them back. No, I got to hit them
you
back.
You got to hit them back.
Huh? I got to hit them back. They ain't even left the house yet.
Okay.
All right, now VIP. Let's get down to the early VIPs, the nitty-gritty. The Thunder, we all share. Come on, we got your seat right here, bro. Here go your hookah.
Easy.
We got your, get him some extra bottles. They in there. The Rockets, KD. Come on in, brother. Rockets, y'all in. We got y'all section over there. Hey, D-Nail, that first bottle on me. Getting into the Rockets. Because they've done a lot to improve.
They've done a lot.
They picked up some key additions. Next up, let's bring them Nuggets in there. Come on now. Joker, let's get off your high horse. I know you ride your horse.
Your literal horse.
Your literal horse. Get on in here.
You got some brewskis for him? You know you like a beer.
I know, they did. So they made some improvements, bringing Brown back off their championship squad. They bring in Cam out from Brooklyn, an upgrade from Michael Porter Jr. in my eyes. They back to contending. And last but not least in our VIP, let me give Cleveland, this is for you. Come on in, Cleveland. I know y'all ain't had much to cheer about this offseason, but you bring back your core, a core that won 64 games. I believe y'all are going to be better. With the East looking the way it looks, I can see them coming out of there.
So I don't have a problem with VIP. I feel like that's solid. General admission.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like you should, I'm kind of with Key. If you got the Warriors in there and the Clippers, you kind of got to slide the Lakers. I feel like the Lakers, they might be packed in the corner, but like, I think Luka and LeBron should be able to just order a drink.
They don't have a seat at the table?
No, I got them on the waiting
table,
list.
but they have I think they should be inside.
On the waiting list? You got LeBron James on the waiting list.
So you don't
and
have
Luka on the waiting list?
You don't
Think about that, Paul.
Well, this is why. LeBron, he's nearing retirement. He's in his 40s. But we don't need all these old people in my spot. And Luka, he got to get in shape. We like a young, vibrant crowd over here, Key. Let's keep them on the wait list and see.
You judgy as hell at the door.
Oh, yeah. This is the
it's
truth.
one of
now.
those
You don't even understand.
It's one of them spots.
He from LA.
Right.
Back in the day.
Yeah, that ain't lying.
No, back in the day, it might be you plus 3.
Joy, you could come with 4 of your friends. They might say you, and your other 2 friends can't get
I
in.
don't have those problems.
No, they gonna. I'm telling you, Joy. I'm telling you.
I'm telling you.
I
I know you don't have them problems, but
those problems.
it happens. It
I'm
happens.
Oh, it
sure
doesn't happen.
It is something that has happened to people.
Oh, yeah.
Just not
You.
No, we're not
no.
saying you. You and your friend getting in. Your other 2 friends.
No,
They may not
Everybody
get in.
coming. Everybody coming.
They might not get
They
in.
better not get in.
Everybody, it's not a problem. Everyone's coming in.
All right.
But
I think the
also, we're
Lakers
not going to
need to be
risk,
in there.
no one's risking me not coming in. So we're not concerned about that.
Okay.
But I do wonder, the wait list is it's not very deep.
Yeah, the wait list. I don't know how the
So
Spurs get in there like that, though.
We at capacity.
But how do
everybody-
Spurs even get on the wait list, though?
But what?
Wemby.
Okay, so
Wemby.
Mavs fans not on the wait. Mavs not on the wait list.
Mavs ain't nowhere to be found.
No way.
Celtics not on the wait list.
Not right now. Nope.
Heat not on the wait list.
Nope.
Pacers not on the wait list.
Not right now. Too many question marks over there.
Man, I think
These teams you said got too many question
They gonna go
marks.
to the club
Too
down the
many wild
street.
cards.
Too many wild cards.
They gonna go to the club down the street. I'm
They
telling
gonna
you.
go to the club.
Go ahead, y'all can go ahead. They shot that one up.
You can't not the shoot up.
They had a shootout the other day.
You can't. You
violence.
can't have the Spurs in there though, man.
You think
I
this
understand you
happened
like
nice or
Wemby.
something?
Wemby is on the waiting list.
I understand.
He's next in line to be the face.
I understand.
I gotta have him in there.
I understand. But no.
He's on the waiting list. The Lakers, Spurs.
They got a new coach and everything, man. Pop ain't
Very
even coaching
exclusive
there.
spot, Key.
Man, this is exclusive. Key, you know I go just like your restaurant. You wouldn't let everybody in either.
No, I wouldn't let everybody.
Right, you understand this. Hey, we just saw the special. You didn't let BD in the thing.
No, Barron called and I didn't answer.
Hey, no, listen, that's why the Lakers.
He didn't have the fit on.
I was in New York. I have nothing to do with who runs the establishment when I'm not there.
Yeah, so these is my early wait list, general admissions and VIPs. But a lot can happen this summer. It can change up.
Yeah, there's still time.
There's still a lot of time. So, don't panic.
There's still a few people upset at the cookout today.
It was crazy though.
Man, listen, everybody can't get barbecue. You know what I'm saying? We gotta give them hot dogs.
Coming up.
We gotta give them hot
We gotta
dogs.
end the segment on that. No, thank you.
Joy,
This is his
Thank you,
son?
Dino.
That's the dad right there?
Yeah, that's the dad.
And that's his son?
Yeah, but that's the video.
Man,
That's
come
a
on.
video. What you
I mean,
think
that's
the
like
video is?
the-
AI?
That's his son standing next to him.
angle, whole deal. It's so big, but he ain't that much bigger than his daddy.
Man, come on.
Culture evolves at the speed of light, just like your financial needs. When it comes to your money, Credit Karma keeps you in the know and ahead of the game. You can count on Credit Karma to keep up with your financial needs as they evolve. We'll help you monitor your progress and give personalized recommendations so you can make strides towards your goals and find your way to money. Make sure you're on the right track, no matter where you are on your financial journey. Intuit Credit Karma. Karma you can count on.
Listen, this is gonna be a new technique we could probably use. This is the future. I need y'all to work on this move right here. Right. Boom, boom, boom. In there.
Paul, it's the this how my uncle be doing.
You could probably put this in your game too. Boom, boom. Hey, boom, around. There we go.
George was disgusted.
He's trying so hard.
He said, "Ooh."
See, there you go, make it move. Look at that.
Stay with the dribble and bounce.
I was watching this show. I know you are the truth, but I would happily throw you back in the Celtics jersey.
I'm better now, because now I'm going to get low now.
Oh, no, gotta stay low. Oh, see,
Yeah. Oh, that was it. That was it right there. We got a new one. We got a new one, y'all.
If I get a sack like that, I'm gonna look this camera. It's for you, Paul. True. It's you.
Oh, this one. This the one. Boom, boom, boom. That's a sack.
Listen, I love you to death, but you got the hips of a 70-year-old homeless man. That ain't gonna get it, big dog.
Oh my God. That ain't gonna get it. It's time to check in on our social life. Brandon Jacobs was known as a big back during his 9 NFL seasons, playing at 6'4", 264 pounds. Well, Jacobs' son towers over his dad, though. Braden Jacobs is 6'7", 320 pounds, a freshman for Clemson, where he will be playing left tackle.
It's a big boy right there.
That is a big boy is an understatement.
Man.
He gonna definitely be one of them ones with the beard.
Wait till he grow his beard out. That's gonna be like his mane.
You think any of your moves you get past him? He's a freshman.
Y'all get a freshman? Oh yeah, that's easy. I'm around that. Easy. You gotta wait till he get that beard. Stop me.
Oh, okay.
You know how Shaq probably hit you in your chest a couple times? Some elbows and stuff?
In the way of that.
You know?
Don't.
Once this dude stab you in your chest, he's gonna put his handprint.
He a freshman though.
He gonna put his handprint right on your nest,
freshman,
right there.
Yeah, his reaction time ain't there yet.
Man, that dude 6'7",
Look at all your papers.
No.
Well, trade me then.
Look, oh man, he gonna fall down. He gonna turn this way, trying to flow. He gonna fall down. He a freshman.
Oh,
come on, man. He a freshman.
Man.
Boom, boom. He gonna go for that. He gonna fall down.
Go for it.
Yeah, go for it.
Look at him.
Look at him. He gonna go for it. He a freshman.
You know what he's doing right there? He's standing on the
bungee.
The bungee cord for his daddy. He's standing on it.
That's nothing.
That's nothing.
Yeah, he's standing.
His wrist is probably this big around.
That's cool.
That's cool.
Swipe down.
Swipe down.
Swipe that down.
You got a rip, man.
Break my arm.
Rip. Swipe down, strip, same thing.
Well, jumping back into football, Jordan Love is entering his 5th year in the league and his 3rd as a full-time starter in Green Bay. One NFL insider thinks that the pressure is now on Love to step up and elevate his teammates since he is the 2nd longest tenured player on the offense. Love is tied for 2nd among the highest average annual salaries in the league. So how much pressure is on Jordan Love, Keith?
There's some minor, small pressure to continue to improve. Real pressure doesn't come until next season, the 2026 season, not the 2025 season. He's only been a full-time starter 2 years, and he's gotten his team into the postseason twice. Now, this year, there'll be a little bit of pressure, but that 4th season, as a full-time starter, people will then start to say, man, you gotta put up a shut up. We don't have time to keep dealing with these situations. And that's when I think that the pressure starts to mount. Because at that point, if you can't continue to evolve and advance your team, if you just think about some of the quarterbacks in this modern era, first year that they become a full-time starter, they do a little something. 2nd year, they get it to where they need to. 3rd year, they get it to where they need to. Then that 4th year as a full-time starter, you need to be making us feel like we on our way to the Super Bowl. I don't care if it's Josh Allen. I don't care if it's Lamar. I don't care if it's Joe Burrow, although Joe went early in his career. That's the way things are set up. The contracts are set up that way. Teams don't care how much money they paying you. By the time you get to that 4th year, 5th year, they'll just do away with quarterbacks nowadays and eat the money. You could just check box Russell Wilson. You just check it. They don't care how much money it is.
There's absolutely no pressure on Love. I don't get it because, we talk about certain quarterbacks that the pressure's on. The real pressure's on the quarterbacks at the top, Key. Love hasn't shown to be one of those guys yet. Even when we look at the list, we don't even have Love in the top 10 quarterbacks. And how about there's pressure on Baker Mayfield? How about that, a former #1 pick? How about there's pressure on guys like Trevor Lawrence to deliver something? If there's going to be pressure on Love, then we have to mention guys like that. Because these are #1 picks.
Yeah, it's going to be pressure
and they've been in the NFL longer than him.
It's going to be pressure on Trevor Lawrence after this season.
They've been around longer than Love, though.
Yeah.
Why aren't we saying What's up with them?
Well,
number 1 picks in the draft. Like, it should be more pressure on them. Like, we even got Baker Mayfield in our top 10. We should be speaking on that. Like, why hasn't he gotten whoever to a Super Bowl? When guys like Burrow has been there, Jalen Hurts obviously won a Super Bowl. Like, there has to be accountability held across the board if we're going to say Jordan Love. Now, the reason he has that we're talking about him is because he had early success.
Yeah.
His success was a lot earlier than we seen with Baker and with Trevor. And so we tend to put pressure. But these guys got to get Tua. What about Tua? We don't talk about these guys enough. If we're going to say Love, we got to throw these other guys.
It's going to be pressure on Tua, too.
Yeah, but we got to put them in the conversation if we're going to talk about Love like this. That's all I'm saying.
I think that, weirdly, the guys who are at the top, with the exception of Joe Burrow, don't have as much pressure on them this year. Patrick Mahomes has been winning since he got into the league, and they had a tough go in the Super Bowl, but they were in the Super Bowl.
Right.
Jalen Hurts is coming off of a Super Bowl win and a Super Bowl MVP. Josh Allen's coming off of an MVP season. Lamar Jackson has 2 MVPs. So while there's pressure on those guys, obviously, to get to the playoffs, if they have some wiggle room being at the top of the league. I think Trevor Lawrence has pressure on him this year.
Yeah.
I think Justin Herbert has a lot of pressure on him this year.
Yeah.
Jordan Love, Baker Mayfield, Joe Burrow, obviously. You don't want to miss the playoffs 3 years in a row. I think Aaron Rodgers has a lot of pressure on him this year. Tua has a lot of pressure on him this year. There's a lot of guys that have a lot. Caleb Williams has a lot of pressure on him this year. So it's not just limited to Jordan Love. But where I will say there is pressure on Jordan Love, he has been paid. He is second in average annual value. So you have been compensated. I think it is actually a year up. Your first year, second year, I think your third year, you're supposed to take a step up.
Yeah, you take
they
a step
did
up.
have a big win against the Cowboys his first year in the playoffs, being the youngest team in the playoffs, obviously knocking the Cowboys off, who hadn't lost a game at home in, I think, like 16 straight games. Obviously, they lost last year to who would go on to be the champions, but the division is different than it was last year, and that's why I think there's some pressure on Jordan Love. The Lions lost a lot. Yes, they are returning their quarterback and their head coach and some of their key pieces, but they lost their center. Obviously, they lost a lot of their coaching staff. So they're going to have a lot of adjustments, I believe, early in the season, and that might put them behind. The Vikings are rolling with what is essentially a rookie quarterback this year. So they're going to be different than they were last year. We have no idea what the Bears are going to shape up into. There's a lot of pressure there. They have made some changes. We're optimistic, but we don't know. The Packers are, to me, the only returning team in this division that is moving forward from what they were working on last year. They have the most solid foundation to take a step up. And that's why I think there is pressure on Jordan Love and the Packers this year. It's his third year. He's been in the league for a while now. He's cemented as the guy. He's the second oldest player on the offensive side of the ball. He's clearly the leader of the team and the franchise quarterback. So I think the way that this division has shifted so quickly in this offseason, with all the changes to the teams within the division, they're at the top to me. You can argue the Lions, obviously, but I think that they've lost a lot, and they could look a little bit different this year. So between them and the Lions, this is up for the taking in this division, and they should take a step up in the postseason as well.
No, they should, but I don't think that I don't look at this year as pressure for him as much as I do year 4 as a full-time starter, because they will make a decision on him after year 4. What do we do with this guy? Is he the guy that's going to take us where we want to go, opposed to, some of these other quarterbacks that we talk about that are young. They've gone deep runs in the playoffs. Lamar is a young guy that has gone to the AFC Championship game. Joe Burrow's gone to a Super Bowl. Josh Allen has won an MVP, gone to AFC Championship games. When you start looking at the younger side of the quarterback equation, he's got to take another step here, but he's got to, in year 4, by the time year 4 is over, they're going to have to make a decision if he's the future they can't make the decision based on them giving him the money.
But don't you think it would be disappointing if the Packers didn't make the playoffs?
No, of course, but they're not. When I think about pressure, I think about him being moved on from, opposed to people saying, well, they only won 7 games.
Oh, see,
that's the way I look at the pressure.
I don't look at it as that serious. They're not moving on from Joe Burrow. They're not moving on from Justin Herbert. Tua, Baker,
you start
Trevor,
to
maybe. They're not even moving on from Trevor this year.
Not this year, but you look at year 4, of guys that haven't gotten teams to where they felt they should, after they got that money, they will be moving on from them.
Coming up, our Fox Sports colleague Colin Cowherd received a huge honor this week. I'll tell you what that is in Friday Flowers next on Speak. It's Friday, and that means I get to give out some Friday flowers. Candace Parker saw her name go up into the rafters last weekend. The Sparks retired her number 3 jersey on Sunday. Parker was drafted first overall by the Sparks in 2008 and spent 13 seasons with the team. While in LA, she was a 5-time All-Star, 2-time league MVP, and won a title where she was named Finals MVP. She joins Hall of Famer Lisa Leslie and Penny Toller as the only women to have their jerseys retired by the Sparks. She will also have her jersey retired later this summer by the Chicago Sky, where she won a WNBA title as well. And you can also catch Candace on episode 2 of LA Legends with Keyshawn on his podcast, All Facts, No Breaks. There was a lot happening around the WNBA this week as well. The Seattle Storm announced that Sue Bird will receive a statue outside of their arena this August, making her the first player to be honored with a statue by a WNBA franchise. She was an All-Star 13 times during her 21 seasons, and the next wave of stars is now getting their opportunity. Rookie Paige Beckers was named All-Star starter this year, making her the only rookie this season to get that nod and the first Dallas Wings rookie ever to be named an All-Star starter. And finally, the league continues to gain popularity. It's making plans for expansion. The WNBA will expand to 18 teams over the next 5 years, with Toronto and Portland entering the league next year, and newly announced additions Cleveland, Detroit, and Philadelphia coming by 2030. Congratulations to our colleague and friend Colin Cowherd. He has been selected for the Radio Hall of Fame class of 2025, and he is the lone sports broadcaster in this year's class. His career has spanned multiple decades, and he has solidified himself as one of the premier voices in sports talk radio. We've been lucky enough to have Colin as part of the Fox Sports family for 10 years, and I had the privilege to see his process and brilliance up close as his co-host on The Herd. Honored to have seen that, and he will officially be inducted during a ceremony in Chicago on October 30th. So congratulations, Colin. Well deserved. Coming up, don't go anywhere. We're finishing the show strong with Key's big 4th of July list, and I can guarantee there will be tomatoes. That's next on Speak.
I think the Raiders win more games.
What's that bet, though? I need to get some of that.
Steak dinner, the Raiders have more wins than the
Paul
Jets.
learned his lesson on the cash.
Yeah.
He's like, steak, that's it, no steak.
Look, I could have played defense. Look, yeah, sack. Sack.
Look like Day and Friday. Would have picked him up and threw him straight to the cooler.
Luka is one of the best players on the planet of Earth. Every day he wakes up, he stretches and gets out of bed, and he's one of the top 5 players on the planet. The Monstars come, they're like, "Where's Luka? We got to take his powers."
If Rodgers threw me on the bus, we would have had to squabble up. We in the locker room, right? The locker room, right? We all right here. We lift weights together. We in the bus, the plane, the showers, and all of that. We right here. Like, man, we ain't got to talk about it in the shower, but, when I get out the shower, like, I'm right here. What if your wife comes to you and says, "Hey, I only got 1 year left with you"?
Thank you for this partnership.
You gonna look for trade?
All right, before we go, we need to get the Key's 4th of July edition of his big list. What do you have, Key?
Well, I got a big list. So, first of all, we do not grill. We barbecue with charcoal. Just want you to know. So let's start off with the list, and I'll go through it. The meats. Let's start with number 1. Whoa. The meats. We got the beef. We got chicken.
We agree on that, Key.
We got chicken. We got fish, whether it's branzino, whether it's salmon, just for many different taste buds. Then the baked beans are number 2 on the list for me. No question about it at all. Then when you move to number 3, the macaroni and cheese, the macaroni and cheese will not at all have breadcrumbs on it. Stop, Joy. This is the top 3, because if you go to any, you go to any barbecue place, you're gonna have this, and this to start with. Now, veggies. No, veggies consist of greens, corn, and any grilled vegetable barbecue style that you would want. Bell peppers, any of those things, because we got a lot of different people that eat different things. Potato salad, Potato salad is at every single barbecue. Every single one. But we don't put raisins in ours, okay? Just letting you know. No raisins. Now you drop down to your cakes. There's a red velvet, sock it to me, 7-Up cake. Now you go to number 7 with the pies. There's sweet potato pecan pie, lemon meringue, maybe some key lime pie. Now the drinks. Obviously,
I'm not coming.
You gotta wash all this down. You're gonna start with water, soda, but the tequila is the main thing. Additive free, Magenta style.
Magenta.
Yeah, there's no question about it. Wait, what's wrong with this? That's a real barbecue.
Let me get to it.
What? Talk to me.
Start at number 1. We're gonna take the drinks.
Oh,
These
man.
things at number 1. Then we're gonna get to the ribs and all of that, number 2.
Yeah.
Vegetables,
drinks?
get the vegetables out of here.
You don't want greens?
Man, get that out of here.
Oh, my God.
We're gonna get that mac and
You
cheese.
don't want
right.
collard greens.
Man, we're gonna get fruit. We're gonna eat some fruit. We're gonna have a watermelon.
We're gonna get that.
We're gonna have all
But
that.
that's not a top list.
Okay.
Watermelon.
Why do cakes and pies
Cakes?
have their own lines? It's just desserts.
Because
first
some
of all.
people, okay, we can do dessert if you want to.
Desserts, okay?
But-
Drinks is way higher. Drinks is above baked beans. You know what? I was at Keys, he had the best baked beans. No. All right. No. Drinks is at 2, okay?
Y'all are alcoholics is the problem.
I mean,
Y'all alcoholics.
It's the
I like
Don't
y'all,
get
but I'm
there.
not trying to.
You gotta eat.
Yeah, I hear you. We have to eat. But like the baked beans being at 2 is
You
crazy.
cannot come to my home on an empty stomach and think you gonna drink.
I'm gonna be like, where the drinks at? You gonna be like, they on the way. They on the way. They on the way.
Something while you finish
y'all crazy.
I'm like, you eat first. They on the way. Like,
You gonna get the drinks. You
Like,
gonna
why
get
am I
the
washing
drinks.
this big plate down?
Sound like you might be on a drink already.
So I'm gonna house out of here.
Oh, my goodness. Happy holidays,
Yeah,
y'all.
happy holidays.
Don't make this your list right here, by the way.
Everything on this list people gonna have at their house.
Don't go in this order.
This is what happens. That's it for us. Happy 4th of July. We're back Monday at 5 Eastern.